What's going on, beautiful people of YouTube? It's Renebean. Welcome back to another room tour highlight video. I haven't done one of these in a while. This is just where I look at a certain part of the game room, talk about that particular system, the games that I have, and games that I would recommend to it. One good thing about the videos is it's going to give me a chance to finally alphabetize this, because we're going to pull all this down, head into the other room, and that's where we're going to go over all these games and how I came up with that price. Some of the things I'm not going to pull, I'm not going to actually pull out my console and take it in there. That's one of the few things, but we will talk about a lot of the other add-ons that I have that gave me that price that you see on the thumbnail. So if you're interested in getting started in Saturn collecting, this video may be helpful just for the fact that I'm not going to show off the crazy expensive games. Simply the fact that I don't have that many of them, but I am going to show you some games that I highly recommend. They're extremely affordable, as well as the other stuff that I got. So without further ado, sit back and relax. Let's check them out. Alright guys, so before we begin the video, I want to go over a few things just for the pricing if people are concerned. I used video game price charting for all this, and that is entirely inaccurate when it comes to trying to gauge the worth of it. I just took that number and that's what I went with. Now, if you are a reseller, you know how pricing does work. When it comes to price charting and other similar apps that all do the same thing, they just get an average of sold listings on eBay. They can be very inaccurate simply for the fact that a lot of them are either auctions, they don't show condition, or they are factoring in incorrect titles. Like I believe the last one that sold without the game for what we have right here, Nights in the Dreams, was $80. But that's the number that I went with. These actually go for about $140 for at least the last few recently sold in this condition. So understand that. Secondly, it's not the craziest Saturn collection. I know a lot of people out there, man, I don't even have a Saturn. This took me years to get. I do not find Saturn stuff often. And when I do, a lot of times it's mainly just trades that I work out with people that I'm able to get some of the things that I have. But a lot of this does come from yard sales, and we'll talk about that the further we get into the video. But with that said, we're starting off Nights in the Dreams. This, oh my god, when I had a Saturn, this is one thing that I wanted. I don't use box protectors much, but this one I do have. I had to have this one. It wasn't custom made, but it was, I don't know what this was originally for. I reached out to the person who made them and gave him the dimensions, and this is the box that he recommended. I know some people go crazy when it comes to box protectors, and they will put them on, like, you know, N64 cartridges themselves, like every single one of them, like Madden 64, they'll have it in a little plastic case. I'm not that anal about it, but Nights in the Dreams, this is a fantastic controller, or not, well, it is a good controller, but fantastic game. This is one of my go-tos when it comes to wanting to relax with some Saturn. There's different moods when it comes to playing a Saturn. What mood are you in? This is definitely a relax and just relax, and that's entirely what this game is about. Beautiful visuals, my god. This is complete 100%, but this 3DO controller, some people may look at it and be like, it kind of looks like a Dreamcast controller. They kind of got the idea with it. It's very comfortable. The joystick's very big, though. I mean, that's just the way it is. But it's comfortable, but it's made for this game, for the way that you fly. And I don't know how fancy I'm going to get with this video. It's probably just going to be what we're looking at now. Think of it like you're in a Blockbuster and you're trying to figure out what game you want. Look on the back of the box. But my god, the visuals on this game are stunning. They're absolutely beautiful. The soundtrack is amazing, and the gameplay is very addicting, and like I said, relaxing. This is one of my go-to games, and I play this quite often. Like if I'm just having one of those days where things have been getting on, you know, in my head too much, I go to this one. So like I said, you can probably get this game around, if you want it in this condition, complete with the controller, $150. If you just wanted the game, you can entirely play with a standard controller. It's perfectly fine. Doesn't feel as good without using a 3D controller. But this, I will say, is a must-have in any Saturn collection. This is truly a fantastic game. And it's not one of those insanely expensive games that we're going to talk about that I don't have. Bust a Move 2. This is a affordable game that I would highly recommend. It's about $20 complete. At least from price starting point, you'll probably end up, you know, spending maybe like $30 on eBay. I'm a huge Bust a Move fan. My wife, don't worry, I only got one. My wife is a huge Bust a Move fan. It's a fantastic little easy. I ain't gonna say necessarily easy, but it's a sit down and relax game. on the Saturn, it looks absolutely beautiful. So this is one I'd highly recommend. I'm on the lookout for the third one, but hopefully down the road I'll come across it. So before we talk about this next game, I have to tell you about this guy. Since we're on the topic of Saturn, this is a major shout out. This guy, I don't know what took him so long. He finally posted another video after like 9 months. His quality's good. His voice is excellent, and he does really well on his videos. But he's called the Sega Saturn Gentleman. Check his channel out. The man does amazing work when it comes to the Saturn. I don't know if he's going to watch this video or not, but if he does, he's probably looking at me like, man, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm a Sega fan. This guy is hardcore, and I'm telling you, if you really want to get into some of the history of some of the Sega side things, check his channel out. My God, he needs to start making more content. It's just too good. But anyways, Daytona USA. This is if you had a Saturn, you had Daytona USA. We'll actually talk about a 3-pack that came with this. This utilizes a wheel. It's not bad. I'm for certain types of racers. I'm not what you would call like an actual like racer person. Mario Kart, things like that, arcade style racers. Those are fun to me. Which a lot of the Saturn racing games they held on to that. They didn't get too technical, but Daytona USA, what is this running? What did I say it was? Like 17, 18 bucks around that. But if you come across a Saturn lot, you're going to have that in it. Oh my goodness. We're going to talk about these guys right here. There's no particular order to this list. I'm just pulling them as I got them over here. That's kind of why you see this shadow off to the right. Panzer Dragoon, man. My goodness. I picked this up as well as like my boxed Saturn itself with a handful of games. I don't know. This was years ago. I don't know what I paid. It was a damn good deal back then. Probably even better deal right now. What did they say Panzer was going for? They're saying 65 complete on this, and like I said, this is starting prices. This is the prices that I used to give you that $1,500 total, but at the same time, probably gonna be a little bit more than that. That beautiful, my God, it's beautiful. I'm not a big shooter fan. This is a rail shooter. You're on the back of a Dragoon, but my God, it's I ain't gonna say it's overhyped. It's good. It's really good. And it holds up decently well, decently today. I have beat this one. This one I have beat. I have not beaten this one. I've came close, but I have not beaten. You got to beat it in the settings. So this one, obviously the superior version. What's this Panzer going second one here? I know I'm very unorthodox over here. They're saying 80. I have no idea what it's going for. Actually, sold completes. I'm very happy to have these games. I do have Panzer Dragoon order for the Xbox, and I have yet to play it because I want to beat this one before I try that one out. I want to say that they're actually remaking Panzer Dragoon for the Switch. If you wanted to go that route, HD, I'm sure it's going to be nice and enhanced and beautiful. But there's that. These games I highly recommend. If you don't get, I don't have a lot of expensive games. These games aren't really that expensive. They're high end, but I'm not talking about like Panzer Dragoon Saga. I would love to have it, but it's that price, man. Unless I find it at a yard sale, I don't think I'll ever get it. You can't play Burns on the Saturn. I don't know if I'm going to go that route, but I do want to try it one day because I do like the lore and the series is phenomenal. From what I played, I'm 1 3/4 games down. Once I get into Orda, I'm sure that game's going to be absolutely brilliant. Very happy about those. So definitely pick these up if you ever have a chance. They are worth it. Next up, Skeleton Warriors. They're saying about $40 on this one. This one, I'm not going to say it's a must-have, but if you do happen to have it, I like it. It's beautiful. Looks great. Side-scroller action. Graphically, very impressive. It's a little bit slow. Your walking is very, very slow, but it's a hack and slash. You have abilities. I ain't going to say I gotta have this game for the Saturn if you're going to have a collection, but it is a fun one, and I do like it. Alright, so this is something I highly recommend if you are getting in the Saturn collection, you don't have anything, you just got a console, whatever it may be. This is the Sega Saturn 3-pack. Comes with Virtua Fighter 2, Virtual Cop, as well as Daytona USA. You can usually get these for about 25, 30 bucks. This was a pack-in. It came with the console bundle, the actual box that I'll show you at the end of the video. But that's what it is. I do have all these games, I believe, except for Virtua Fighter 2. 2 or 1 on there. But anyways, it's a good deal. Like I said, 25, 30 bucks, you get all 3 games. You don't have to pay for them individually. And these are not bad games at all. Next up is a game that I have to highly recommend. It's not the most expensive, about $40 complete according to price charting, maybe a little bit more later on. This is Clockwork Night right here, and graphically it's so beautiful. It's an amazing side scroller. I want the sequel to this one. I had yet to find it. This is, man, my copy's all broken and whatnot. That's the thing with these Saturn games, that the cases break all the time. But this is a game I highly recommend. If you do get a Saturn collection, want to keep it small, put this one in your collection and you will not regret it if you like side-scrolling action. Oh my god, missed $3. I think I did pay like $3. It was at a flea market. It's going like $10-15 now. This is a game that I know a lot of people know about. I remember the first time I played this was on a PC. I didn't know what the hell was going on. This was a very confusing game to me. I did beat it, and this is a game that I hate to admit, but I think I had to look up how to actually damn play the game, because it's very cryptic for a lot of things. But at that time, it was just, I don't know. It was a new experience for me. I wanted to get the version for the Saturn. I believe they had this on a lot of consoles. Original Xbox, things like that. The surrealistic adventure that will become your world. My goodness. So here's a game that I could recommend. This is Johnny Bazooka Tone. The soundtrack to this game it's amazing. Graphically, it's pretty good. The levels very hard. But when you get into this and you start hearing the music, that's what keeps you going in this game, because the soundtrack to this is so brilliant. So I'd say, that's price starting saying $32, probably gonna cost you around $40 or so. But this is a game, if you don't have it, I definitely can recommend it. If you're a fan of how music is portrayed in games, this will not let you down. Another fighting game here, the Last Bronx, as I can say here, Sega exclusive. You can get this no other place apparently. I have played this. It's not bad. It's Tekken style in a sense. This is a game I have played with some friends. The battle's not bad. You get to utilize weapons, which is always interesting for that time. Not a lot of games, didn't really use weapons as heavy or had it as an option. So there you go. Next up is Golden Axe to Duel. This is a little bit of a pricey game, and the sad part about mine is I don't have a manual for it, which is upsetting. But that's okay. I priced this one like at $50, so I didn't even price it that high. I don't know. It could be a good bit more. Missing the manual. If you are a fan of Golden Axe, this is, I would want to say I'd recommend it. It's a fighter game that utilizes the Golden Axe characters. Golden Axe is a phenomenal series, and to have it in a fighter game, it's very interesting. I'd recommend it, but I wouldn't say break your bank trying to get it. Next up, Virtual on Cyber Troopers. This is a game that I can recommend. It's going to set you back. According to price starting $45. It's an interesting game. Graphically, it looks very well. It performs very well. The sound is very nice. You are head-to-head. You are a robot. You are blasting each other. It performs well, and it doesn't suffer that much from slowdown. This is one I suggest you check out. Another game I highly recommend. This is Alien Trilogy. It did come out on other consoles, I believe PlayStation 1. But the Saturn version, to me, I love this game. This is like Doom meets the Alien world. It's very, I found myself playing this one a lot as well. It gets extremely challenging. It can get bland and kind of hard to find where you're going. But it's one of those games, you play it long enough, you kind of get the feel for everything. $35 probably going to set you back a little bit more than that. But this, for any Alien fan out there, from the movie series, you will absolutely love this game. Next up is another game that is dirty. I know a lot of people can be like, why don't you clean that off, remove that sticker? I liked where these stories comes from. I know it bugs the hell out of a lot of people. But that's okay. For $30, you can get Bug. This is another game I wish I had the sequel to. This is a very fun platformer style game. Beautiful graphics, sounds really good. Another game that I would recommend. All right, so here is another movie-based game, and this is. I remember when Congre came out. It scared the hell out of me, man. This is Congre, the movie, The Lost City of Zinj. This is another Doom-style first-person shooter game. It does suffer as far as it gets bland quick. It kind of gets repetitive, but what's interesting about it is finding the secrets. I've played this quite a bit. It's very challenging. It can get very, very hard. But when you do get those upgrades, you do get those weapons, it is very rewarding. And if you are a fan of collecting, games based on movies that you are very nostalgic for, this is one that I would recommend. It does suffer from repetitiveness, and the challenge can put a lot of people off, but it's not that terrible. All right, so the last few things that I want to show you, this is my complete unboxed Saturn. This is for the Saturn that I use in there. Obviously, the system's not in here, but the inserts, the foam, all that good stuff. The box is not in the best condition. It says bad one on here, scribbled through, and then I don't know what's going on with that. Video game sampler enclosed. This is what I was talking about for the game that included, or for the pack-in, the 3-pack that included those 3 games. So this is complete for me, but like I said, the box isn't in the best condition. It's got some some stainage right here, but I'm happy because, I mean, hell, you don't find Saturn stuff at all, let alone to have one in the box. So the last thing that I want to talk about, this is the must-have that you need to get for your collection. It's not expensive either. These things are like 35, 40 bucks. You can get them boxed like this too. I got this thing at a pawn shop. I'm sure it's not in frame that much. I don't know how much you're going to see. But this is the Saturn race wheel. Like I said, it utilizes a lot of games for it. It works fairly well too. It's heavy. It's bulky. It's how you'd want it to be. And it's a beautiful box. This thing is huge. Obviously, you can see what we're looking at compared to that console box. This is something that I would definitely recommend. It's not going to break your bank, and you can get a lot more enjoyment out of those racing games. So some of the things that I'm not going to show, I'm not going to bring in all the controllers that I have. I have about 4 or 5 Saturn controllers. This one right here, I have 3 of this version and 2 of the other version. These are the ones you want. These are the ones that are more comfortable, and those are the ones that they feel the best in your hands, and they perform a little bit better in my opinion. I didn't bring the gun in here. I probably should have. I know people are like, hey, go shop your collection. I ain't gonna bring everything in here. I'm lazy. It's just how it goes. Alright guys, so that's it. I didn't really want to show every single game. Those videos tend to be kind of boring. So I talked about the ones that I wanted to talk about. So for anybody else interested, this is finally alphabetized my full Saturn collection just for the games themselves. It's a system that I have a tremendous amount of fun collecting for. It's hard for me to collect for it, but when I do get something for the collection, I'm very excited for it. There's a lot of games, at least like 3 or 4 of them here I didn't realize I had not played, so I'm going to be excited to do that tonight, actually. I'm going to make it a Sega Saturn night, because when you do something like this in your collection, go through your games, you realize there's some things on there that you don't realize that you haven't played, so that's what's going to happen. So that's it for the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have suggestions for what you want to see next, whether it's my Genesis collection, Sega CD, Dreamcast, doesn't matter, leave the comments down below and let me know what you guys think. So to everybody out there in this wonderful world, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.